Hello and welcome back to Who Runs the World. I am Allie Pruitt here with Megan Waldron. Y'all know the answer by now. Who runs the world? It's always girls. Happy Thursday. Thank y'all for waking up 30 minutes earlier today because we had a change of, venue. We are back
Allie's
in our old
studio. It's crazy. She goes to prison and back.
Oh, God. Well, we are back in our old studio. The Downtown Loop studio is getting painted today.
Yes.
Can't wait to see what it looks like. So we're here. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about today. But, Megan, how you doing, girl?
I'm good. The weather's been a little cray-cray.
Not a fan.
I know.
I feel like every week we're like, the weather. Like,
it's like throwing people off, and I was actually researching the Cubs and stuff just because, I don't really watch baseball, so I gotta read the articles,
Yeah.
It sounds like the pitching, just to jump right in, I guess. I didn't really mean to do that, but it was interesting. They were saying that they think once the weather gets better, the pitchers will do better.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine how hard it would be on your arm? Like, I
Right.
go outside and I get stiff walking to the train, I'm like, oh, God, it's cold, my knees, my hips. I'm not doing well. Let alone pitching a baseball 95 miles an hour, so it can't be easy.
Oh, 100. Yeah, no, it's very fascinating, their fingers, and even softball, DePaul Athletics, oh my God.
Yeah.
My roommates are softball players, and I feel so bad for them. They haven't played in 16 days, which is crazy because...
But that also is, not helpful, right? Because you're not, in the swing of things. You're not in game mode. You're not practicing outside. You're just in the batting cages indoors or, throwing the ball around. So it's you're not really... in that, at this point in the season, you want to be in game mode for softball,
I feel for them because they're competing against, California teams that do not have to deal with this weather. Even the other day, they were supposed to go to Nebraska, and it was 1 degree there. So they got...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so that game got canceled. So even, these other states are having, because it's the Midwest or whatever. But, and it sucks because they lost their last game. So sometimes you have that taste in your mouth where you just want to bounce back.
Yeah.
So I feel for them. It's a hard sport.
Yeah, and I mean, everything, being able to, have you ever caught us up? Well,
Yeah.
Megan and I played on a softball team for Radio DePaul.
You're not doing it.
Well, good Lord, how do I know when I'm going to be here? If I'm here and I can, I will. I guess I should have signed up, but... Anyways, last season, we were undefeated. Thank you very much. Thanks to Megan and I. We were phenomenal athletes out there in the Intramural Softball League. But, when you... Sometimes... I mean, that was 16-inch softball. But, when you're if somebody hits it real hard off their bat and you have to catch it, if you accidentally catch it in the palm of your hand instead of, in the top part of your glove, that can sting.
Oh, 100%.
Let alone when it's 20 degrees outside.
Right.
So... It's rough, and that kind of leads us into our topic of the day, which is baseball and MLB. What should the MLB do? Last time on this beautiful Instagram post that I love to run, as y'all know, I asked y'all, because Anthony Rizzo came out and said, I would not be opposed to the MLB having a shorter season. Right now they're playing 162 games.
Right.
And so it's he's saying, we already play too much. I'd be okay. He said, I'd be okay with taking a pay cut to play fewer games. And so, Megan, give me your thoughts on this because, you have these old-timer baseball fans who are like, oh, no, you can't do that.
Right.
And then you have, other people and even some of the athletes who are like, yes, it's okay. So what's your thoughts on this, from the outside looking in?
No, I have, 2 things probably to say about this. But just to add on, I actually, have a quote from Rizzo to go off at yours. He says, yes, guys are going to take pay cuts, but are we playing this game for the money, or do we love this game? Said Rizzo on the Cap and Co. show. I know it's both, but in the long run, it will make everything better. And personally, I actually think it should be less games because I think it makes each game more exciting. However, it kind of bugs me that a millennial is saying this just because I kind of want to say, suck it up. be tough. Like, I don't know, there's something about, like, the toughness and not complaining and just doing what has been done for so many years.
Right.
What's your opinion?
I mean, so I think the thing I think about this is I would love to see baseball be a shorter season in the sense that baseball would start later. Because if you look at how many games have been canceled in this, season so far in the MLB, the White Sox, for Christ's sake, couldn't play in Minnesota because there was like 5 inches of snow.
Right.
The Cubs' last 4 games have been canceled, because of the weather. So it's like, what really is the point? You know what I'm saying? And I think the thing that is so interesting about it is because baseball is the longest season. It goes the longest time. And so these athletes really don't get much of an off season. They get a couple months, and then they go to Arizona and they go to spring training. You know what I mean? Like the Cubs, they go and then that's it. So it's just like, is that really the best way to do it? And I think, one of the things I think the best way to go about this would be to start the season later.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the point of starting the MLB season in April just so we could cancel every game and then have to make it up? And so what happens is when you're making these games up in June and July, now you're playing double headers. You're playing, maybe 3 games in a row. And so it's like, you're doing that, and that kind of messes up your rotation, right? Like, who are you going to have pitch? Or, it's not really beneficial to have, maybe your shortstop making diving plays all the time and hurting their body and having to play double headers because all these games were canceled in the beginning of the season because it's so dang cold.
Right. And it almost creates like a game within itself. Like what pitcher has the best athletic trainer helping them warm their hands? Like what equipment is this team using to stay warm? It's interesting because it's almost like it's a game outside of the game. Right.
I mean, it's just like, we got a couple comments here. Shorter season would be better. Baseball contracts are fully guaranteed. Yes. So it's just like, we got a lot of people agreeing with us.
Shorter seasons.
Yeah, shorter seasons. I mean, because it's the shortest. I mean, the shortest. Good Lord. It's the longest season of sports. You think about NFL guys, you think about NBA guys, they're, they get more of a break, so you're really, I mean, I get that it's the point of the game, but let's just look at where baseball is played, for Christ's sakes. We're not playing baseball in the Sahara Desert. Like, it is cold, people.
To me, though, and people might be, I don't think a lot of people will agree with what I'm about to say, as well as, like...
we got a controversial statement coming off from Megan Waldron.
It's really not, though. Like, myself, a friend, though, she'll disagree. I don't think baseball's that strenuous on your body, compared to, like, the NHL, compared to the NFL, compared to the NBA. But
what about the pitchers?
The pitchers, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like...
But get more pitchers on your team.
But there's, what do you... Where are we going to get them at? I mean, how many... It is, like, superhuman to be able to throw a baseball 100 miles an hour. I can't just go, hello, we're looking for pitchers.
Here's the thing.
Fullerton Avenue. We got any? Come outside. No, like, these are phenomenal athletes, so you're looking for the... And each pitcher's strengths are different. You have starting pitchers. You have closers. You have people that come in and fill the gaps. You have that whole bullpen aspect. So, you're not really... you can't just get 20 of them. You can only have so many guys on a baseball roster anyway.
How many pitchers are typically on a team? I'm just curious.
In a bullpen? I mean... It all depends.
It depends. But, for the Cubs right now, are they kind of sticking with 3 pitchers or more than that?
Well, we have starting pitchers. So we have Chatwood, we have Lester, we have Yu Darvish. You know what I mean? So you have your, probably 3 or 4 starting pitchers. Okay. And then you have your bullpen. So you have the guys who are coming in, in the 4th inning because the guy is not doing so hot, or the 5th, you know what I mean? And very rarely do pitchers pitch the whole game unless they're on track for a perfect game or no hitter.
Right.
So, when they come out, you have those, guys who kind of fill in the gaps, and then you have closers, and the closers are the guys, throwback to... What?
I was going to say, something came to my head. But, in the NFL, Tom Brady plays the whole game. That's hard on his body.
Right, but they're only playing. They're playing way less, and they're playing 1 game a week.
Okay.
1 game a week.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas these guys are playing
100.
4 games in a week and then traveling and then boom, 4 games again. I mean, there's so many games in baseball. If we took away 20 games, for Christ's sakes, no one's going to cry about it. We're still playing over 100 games. You know what I mean? It's not like we're saying, cut the baseball season to 12. Like, no. We're saying, in my opinion anyway, I'm saying, we're playing 162 games right now. And what if we played 120? 130.
I would like it better.
Right?
It. Yeah.
So I just think it's better for the players.
Yeah.
It's better for the fans. You know what I mean? Because, I just had tickets this past Sunday to go to the Cubs game, and I couldn't go because it was snowing, for Christ's sakes. Right. When I went outside that day to run errands, I was in snow boots, a park. I'm like, this wouldn't even been fun. You don't...
Yeah.
Baseball, when you think baseball, right, you think July, you think summer days, shorts, having, an ice-cold lemonade and a hot dog. You know, that's what you think of. You don't think of, oh, boy, I gotta get my hand warmers, that's just a lot.
How many layers should I wear?
Right, and I mean, to cancel all these games, that's what I think it's just the most beneficial if you just shorten the season and not shorten it at the end. Oh, Anna, love you, girl. She said, so proud of you. Love you. See you soon.
Oh.
She's awesome. Anna Wisniewski, you know her.
Awesome. Hi,
Megan
Anna.
says hello. But, so we have, don't, October baseball, because, look at when the Cubs were in the World Series. It was cold. I remember being out there. I mean, my adrenaline was pumping, so I was warm on the street. But, what happened? But, you also, that is a part of baseball. October baseball, you know what I mean? Whereas April baseball, no one's excited and ready for that. Everybody is ready for October baseball. You've been playing a whole season. So my vote is shorten the season and shorten it from the beginning. Give them more of a break and then make spring training go through April.
Why do you think it's taken till now for people to discuss this? Or do you think this has been a discussion for a long time, going back to Jackie Robinson days, or is that too far?
I mean I think this is baseball. Baseball is that all year round 162 games. It's kind of how baseball has always been, and so changing it in this way is going to be a big difference. You know what I mean? Changing baseball in this aspect is going to make it, it's a shock, especially to the older generation, but you also, we've talked about it before, a lot of people, younger people, millennials, they don't watch baseball. Even you said, baseball isn't your favorite sport.
No,
and it's kind of because of the pace of the game. So maybe, this could kind of change some things. And I know we've, in the sports realm, they've talked about, should the pitchers get as much time in between each pitch? Should they try to make the game faster?
Right.
And that's a whole nother aspect of it. But as far as the season goes, my vote is to shorten it, but shorten it from the beginning. So, make spring training go through April, if not a bit of May. Start baseball end of May. Start baseball when kids are getting out of school. Start baseball when it's summertime, because it's just, that's when it would be good. You're still playing a bazillion and trillion games, over 100. You're just going to cut down these games. And frankly, to me, like I said, you are canceling these games, right? There's not been in April that I can remember where games have not been canceled, right? That's just the fact of the matter. We're in the Midwest, and of course, they can go play in Arizona or wherever, and the games go on. But when you're looking at all these teams who are playing in these weather conditions, it just doesn't make sense, And the teams they're playing against, maybe they're playing against, some team from the West Coast, East Coast, warmer weather, they're still having to come and make up that game too. So you're really not, there's nothing here. So that's my vote.
It's interesting.
Shorten the season to May.
It's interesting too, a general manager, he had a comment, Hoyer, he said it was hard, it was choppy, no one was in rhythm. Pitchers are trying to throw strikes with freezing cold hands like baseballs. It is difficult and there is no solution to it. So he kind of is saying, this is a time when everyone's playing basketball and it's just a bad stretch for the whole league. And he kind of saying, we'll get through it. It's just a bad April. This doesn't have to be a dramatic change. I don't know, though.
But like I said, I feel like this happens every April. even like it doesn't happen as significantly
right.
or as much,
right?
But it does happen, you know. And he's saying there is no solution. So
yeah, what does he mean? Does he say like there's no
like shortening the season isn't going to fix it? But it would, because you wouldn't be dealing with your freezing cold players and their hands are, you know what I mean?
I think he's kind of like that old grandpa that doesn't want change, and I kind of respect it. I don't know,
and I can see the argument. Baseball's always been this way. Don't
right.
change it, you know. But yeah, I just think it's the most beneficial thing.
It's interesting how Rizzo has kind of come out and been a spokesman, you know, for this area, because he's not even a pitcher. Like, he's speaking, you know, as a first baseman, I believe he plays.
Right.
So, and also, like, do you think it affects batting the weather in a sense, like just holding on to the bat, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, it hurts.
Right.
Like,
and like it affects your hitting, I think, like you said, like of how you're hitting the ball. And
imagine when you're cold, you're not as quick.
Right.
Right? So the whole point of baseball is quick hands,
yeah.
right? Like, get the barrel of the bat to the ball as quick as you can.
Right.
And you're not as quick because you're like, shaking, you know? And you see these guys, I mean, you can't bundle up, you know what I mean? Like, they can wear maybe like a long sleeve Under Armour. One of the things I thought was hilarious, speaking of this cold weather, maybe we can get into this a little after the break, but last night the White Sox were playing.
Yeah.
They were playing the Oakland A's, so they were in Oakland, California, and one of their players, he had a face mask on because it was 50 degrees outside. He thought that was cold. And, like, the White Sox are like, oh, I'm sweating, you know, I need some sunscreen out here. So it's just funny because you have these different players.
Yeah.
And so it's also, you know, comes into, like, this, okay, so now when you have these guys coming to play in Chicago, what the heck are they going to do, you know? So that's that.
Even the softball team here, like, I would say like 60% of the team is from warm states like California.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny.
How hard would that be?
They come here and they think it's just crazy how they have to, like, you know, in a way practice in the gym. Like, they're not used to that whatsoever. Have all these postponements of games. Yeah. And to me, it's just sad because they work all year long. And, like, in a way, like, going to softball, it's almost like it should be played in the fall in collegiate athletics. But that would mess everything up because soccer's there.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, my high school... Like, it's weird. Soccer was in the spring in my high school, but in college it's in the fall.
Yeah.
And that helps them not miss as many games.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things you can do, and, like, the thing with softball is, maybe you could change the season in collegiate athletics, but, you know, you also would run into that problem if you're playing in through October, November. You know, you kind of get the same problem here in the Midwest. It could snow in November, and, you know, you never know. Whereas baseball, you can't say we're going to change the season because it is, like, an all-year, you know, sport. So that's kind of where it comes in. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we could talk about baseball, some more baseball, because yesterday the White Sox went 14 innings. 14 innings. And so we'll talk about this too. We got a lot to talk about what baseball should and should not do when it comes to the rules. So we're going to talk a little bit about how are they going to do this overtime, in a sense, this extra innings of baseball? What's the best way to go about this? So we're going to take a break. You're listening to Who Runs the World here on Radio DePaul Sports, the student voice of your DePaul Blue Demons. I'm Allie Pruitt, but y'all better know that already, and that's Megan Waldron. Y'all better know that already too. Who Runs the World? The answer is always girls. We will be right back, so stay tuned in.
Night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitch.